It's 1966. You're ducking for cover in the jungle of the A Valley in Vietnam. Rounds are flying past you. It's hot, humid, and the situation is desperate. Your only hope for salvation is the blades thumping overhead. Your savior may go by the name Cayuse, Kiowa Warrior, or the infamous Huey. These seasoned and hardened warriors were strong and served proudly. But like all old soldiers, time moves forward and warfare evolves, always requiring new ideas and new solutions. Hi, this is Ren, and I'm here to take a look into the Army's LHX Light Helicopter Experimental Program, the program that resulted in the Comanche. In the early 1980s, the U.S. Army recognized that Vietnam-era rotorcraft were outdated, and a newer platform addressing deficiencies in the current materiel and doctrine were needed. The Defense Science Board had concluded that the Army previously suffered from a culture of stovepiping and a lack of creativity. This prompted a movement toward programmatic risk-taking and unrealistic requirements. Initial requests for proposal included both utility and scout attack versions, which was later reduced to solely a scout attack version in June of 1988. This initial scope change was a harbinger of things to come as the first of many that would plague the program. 3 teams, Bell McDonnell Douglas, Hughes, and Boeing Sikorsky, each committed resources to present the Army with a variety of designs. The Bell McDonnell Douglas team approached the mission with an advanced digital flight control system, including hands-off flying, a no-tail rotor or NOTAR system, similar to the Bell 680. Cockpit operational control systems would experience a major upgrade, replacing the traditional vertical and forward movement controls with a 4-directional joystick. Their design concepts also included a tilt rotor stealth concept in the hopes that the Army would consider taking that evolutionary step. The Hughes design included a wasp-like pod with sharply swept wings along with a NOTAR system. They were hopeful that their proven success with the RAH-64 Apache positioned them well to win the LHX contract. The Boeing Sikorsky team also considered several configurations, including a tilt rotor as well as coaxial design concepts. Their proposed design ultimately consisted of a composite airframe with interior weapons carriage, a Finestrin tail rotor, and a glass cockpit, which was linked to advanced sensors in the nose and above the main rotor of the aircraft. The Boeing Sikorsky design was selected by the United States Army in 1991 as the winner of the LHX program, becoming the RAH-66 Comanche. Within 3 years, and as a result of budget constraints, the Army reduced the original prototype order to 2. The first prototype rolled out in mid-1995. In the early days of 1996, test pilots Russ Stiles and Bob Grado climbed into the Comanche prototype in West Palm Beach, Florida for its first flight. The prototypes were built with full production-level features including low observable stealth, reduction in rotor noise, infrared suppression, and crash-worthiness crew protection. The first flight test program was generally successful given the magnitude of cutting-edge design features, with only one noted issue of a weakness in directional stability in the tail, which was remediated by December 2000. Unfortunately, continued delivery delays and technical speed bumps impacted almost all aspects of the program. Problems included software bugs, cannon inaccuracies, and errors with the target detection system. And technical issues were not the only factor. The Army made several engineering and scope changes ranging from weight reduction and mission requirements, including a heavy attack variant, and a procurement plan restructure. Like many in-progress defense programs, the Comanche was impacted by the pivotal events that occurred on September 11th of 2001. The attacks resulted in a reprioritization of focus and funding toward anti-terrorism efforts, affecting funding for many programs including the RAH-66, again introducing program risk. But that wasn't the end for Comanche. Production began in April of 2003 for a reduced run from an original count of over 1,200 expected airframes down to 650. But this still brought hundreds of jobs to a newly established Sikorsky production facility in Bridgeport, Connecticut for 5 Block 1 Comanches. Things were looking positive. But suddenly, in 2004, after 2 decades since the program concept began, the light helicopter was scrapped. In total, the program lived in various forms for over 20 years and experienced 6 major programmatic changes. After nearly $7 billion spent, the Army chose to go in another direction, citing escalating costs, technical challenges, and a shift in military priorities. In the end, Boeing and Sikorsky produced an outstanding and innovative aircraft with exceptional performance and a novel, low observable design applied to a rotary wing aircraft. Interestingly, the need for an armed stealth scout helicopter has reemerged in Army planning through the Future Attack Reconnaissance Aircraft, or FARA program. And some have noted that concepts like the Bell 360 Invictus looks remarkably similar to the Comanche and other LHX design concepts. Has the Army learned from previous missteps? Only time will tell. And if you haven't heard, Libraero is not simply a YouTube channel. Check out Libraero.com to see subject information and a full timeline for the RAH-66 Comanche, and of course wander through the catalog for other interesting aircraft.